I am Nurin Razman, and this is Nightline, the top stories. Sultan Ibrahim welcomes the approach of targeted subsidy by Madani government. And EPF contribution for foreign workers to be capped at 2%. Good morning. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong, Sultan Ibrahim, wants the government to ensure the distribution of targeted subsidies is done efficiently and only to the deserving groups. The king welcomed the approach of targeted subsidy by the Madani government that is able to strengthen the financial position of the country. Sultan Ibrahim said this in his royal address when opening the first meeting of the fourth term of the 15th Parliament on Monday. Upon arrival, he was accompanied by Dewan Rakyat Speaker Tan Sri Johari Abdul and Dewan Negara President Dato' Awang Bimi Awang Ali Basa. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim and his deputies, Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi and Datuk Seri Fadilah Yusof, were also present. In his royal address, the king also expressed gratitude for the country's economic development, including its domestic performance and investments, which are constantly improving.
Saya bersyukur melihat kembangan ekonomi termasuk prestasi ekonomi domestik dan pelabuhan negara yang semakin bertambah baik. Nilai ringgit kembali kukuh dan kadar pengangguran kekal rendah.
However, the Yang di-Pertuan Agong wants the government to ensure that prosperity is enjoyed by all the people. He said last year the gross domestic product, GDP, was 5.9% across multiple sectors. The country's total trade also exceeded 2 trillion ringgit for the first 9 months. In the meantime, Sultan Ibrahim urged members of the parliament to rise above petty politics and refrain from exploiting issues. He said that the Dewan Rakyat was an institution which represents Malaysians, drafts laws, and holds the nation's administration accountable through checks and balances.
Hentikan tindakan bermain politik atas setiap isu. Dan jangan hanya mementihkan parti atau kelompok sendiri saja.
Reflecting on the parliamentary sessions of the previous year, Sultan Ibrahim acknowledged an improvement in decorum and respect shown by MPs during debates. However, he said a minority still struggled to behave well.
Tidak perlu saya senaraikan perangai buruk tersebut kerana saya percaya setiap ahli sedar dan tahu bagaimana untuk menjaga tingkah laku masing-masing.
The Prime Minister, meanwhile, said the government will ensure the optimal distribution of the country's economic wealth to benefit all segments of society. In his social media post on Monday, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said the royal address clearly expressed the king's concern for efforts to ensure that the government administration runs smoothly and continues to bring in various investment opportunities so that the country's economic progress can be enjoyed and benefited by the people. When it is fully upgraded, the use of the latest technology would lead to a revolution in the government's delivery system and services. In his post, Anwar also expressed gratitude for the king's willingness to grace the ceremony. The Employees Provident Fund, EPF, contribution for foreign workers is to be capped at 2% and must be implemented. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said that the initial cabinet proposal was at 12%, but the consideration of the business chambers, it was capped at 2%. Anwar, who is also the finance minister, said that the EPF contribution is not cumulative.
There was some confusion that it's going to be cumulative, 2 and then 4 and 6. No. So we kept it at 2%. 5%, which is very, very minimal. Well, the initial proposal was 12%. And the cabinet did consider the appeal by the chambers.
He said this during the Associated Chinese Chambers of Commerce and Industry Malaysia, ACCIM 2025 Chinese New Year reception in the federal capital on Monday. For the record, the government proposed contribution for foreign workers in the 2025 budget to give fair treatment to workers and to comply with international standards. The investigation into the shooting incident off the waters of Tanjung Ru, Banting involving Indonesian nationals could turn into a probe on drugs or firearms trafficking. Home Affairs Minister Datuk Seri Saifuddin Nasution Ismail said in the meantime, all of the Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency MMEA crew involved in the incident have been temporarily relieved of their duties. He added that the police are conducting a thorough investigation into the incident, which resulted in the death of one Indonesian national and injuries to 4 others. Police have also arrested an Indonesian man who acted as a transporter, smuggling foreign nationals in and out without proper documentation.
Semakin kita menyiasat, kita tak menolak. Berdasar pada pattern siasatan kes dalam situasi yang serupa, ianya boleh membawa kepada dibuka kertas siasatan berkait dengan penyeludupan dadah, berkait dengan penyeludupan senjata.
He added that the Indonesian nationals are also being investigated for attempted murder and obstructing public officers from carrying out their duties. Commenting on the MMEA personnel involved, Saifuddin said they are being investigated under Section 39 of the Firearms Act. The incident, which took place in the early hours of January 24th, resulted in 1 death and 4 other Indonesian nationals sustaining injuries. The incident occurred when a team of MMEA officers who were on patrol encountered a boat believed to be carrying undocumented migrants attempting to flee the country. In Pulau Pinang, an unemployed man who is believed to have killed his mother has been remanded for 7 days to assist investigations into the woman's death. Also placed under remand at the Butterworth Magistrates Court was the suspect's girlfriend. The unemployed man, aged 24, and his 20-year-old girlfriend were arrested by the police in Paya Terubong at 6:30 a.m. on Monday. The incident came to light when a foul odor emanating from a residential unit at the Surrey Orchid apartment led to the discovery of the body of a woman in her 60s. It is understood that an argument occurred between the mother and son last Friday, and the victim is believed to have been struck on the head with a blunt object. Police records show that the suspect has a history of drug-related offenses and had previously assaulted both of his parents. The motive for the incident is still under investigation. Police are on the hunt for a man suspected of setting fire to his wife's car at a traffic light intersection on Jalan Tebrau in Johor. Johor Bahru Selatan Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Raup Selamat said the 25-year-old suspect was allegedly unhappy with his 21-year-old wife following a domestic dispute. It was reported that the man had doused the woman's car with petrol and set it on fire before fleeing the scene in his own vehicle. The victim's car was 80% destroyed, with the loss estimated at 90,000 ringgit. There were no reports of injuries to the 4 victims who were inside the car at the time of the incident, and the case is being investigated under Section 435 of the Penal Code for committing mischief by fire. The import tariff imposed by U.S. President Donald Trump on Canada and Mexico is not expected to have a significant impact on Malaysia. In fact, analysts see the situation potentially opening up new trade opportunities to Malaysia through various free trade agreements, FTAs.
Sudah pasti dengan kenaikan ataupun dasar Presiden Amerika Syarikat yang dilihat agak proteksionis, sudah pasti itu akan membuka banyak ruang untuk peniaga-peniaga atau pedagang-pedagang ini akan untuk berdagang dengan negara yang lebih mesra perdagangan antarabangsa seperti Malaysia.
However, any increase in costs will impact inflation, which weakens the growth momentum of the United States. The situation can also affect the global economy because of high trade dependence on the U.S. Local institutions extended their support for Bursa Malaysia for the 15th consecutive week, recording net purchases of 149.4 million ringgit last week. This was, however, lower than the previous week's net purchases. According to MIDF Amanah Investment Bank, local institutions also ended a 48-day streak of consecutive trading day inflows. MIDF said local retail investors, meanwhile, extended their buying streak on Bursa for the fourth consecutive week, with a net purchase of 353.9 million ringgit in equities, while foreign investors continue to sell equities on the local bourse for the 15th consecutive week though the outflow slowed to 503.3 million ringgit. The top three sectors that recorded the highest net foreign outflows were utilities, property, and industrial products and services. Asian stock markets dived on Monday over fears of a global trade war as the United States prepares to impose trade tariffs. Indices retreated in Hong Kong, Japan, and South Korea by about 2% as they opened after U.S. President Donald Trump confirmed he would impose sweeping tariffs on Canada, China, and Mexico. The mainland China market was shut for Lunar Year holidays, but its currency dropped 0.4% to the dollar. The U.S. tariffs, set to go into effect on Tuesday, impose a 25% tax on all imports from Canada except for energy and Mexico, as well as a 10% levy on goods from China. Though widely expected, the dramatic trade move hailed by Trump threatened some of the world's biggest manufacturers, who will likely have to contend with weakening demand from the world's top economy and a downturn in global growth. The excitement of reality singing competition Kalpis Soda 1 in a Million has now reached its peak as 4 contestants make it to the grand finale. Fierce competition is expected among the 4 finalists, Mary Grace, Zazlin, Kaideva and Jimmy, with only one of them set to be crowned champion and walk away with the grand prize of 1 million ringgit. Thrilled to be in the finals, all the finalists are hopeful that the coming week will see them in one of their best performances.
Rasa bersyukur sangat sebab kompetitor semua memang power-power, diorang hebat-hebat. So kita punya expectation macam aku boleh ke tak boleh. So after diumumkan tadi, alhamdulillah bersyukur sangat.
So alhamdulillah rezekilah dapat langkah ke final lah. Dan saya harap semua dapat saya harap semua teruskan menyokong saya dalam Kalpis Soda ni sebab dia dekat pentas final, perlukan undian je lah kan nak menang ni.
Tension filled Sunday's semi-final stage, drawing mixed reactions from both the judges and the audience, as Mariam and Jimmy received the lowest scores, forcing them into a battle round to secure their place in the finals. Performing the song Jagala Diri, Mariam, however, had to accept defeat after it was announced that she had been eliminated from the competition. However, the singer did not leave empty-handed as she received a cash prize of 10,000 ringgit from Kalpis Soda and TV3. The grand finale of Kalpasoda 1 in a Million will take place on February 9th, where the champion will be crowned and awarded a cash prize of 500,000 ringgit, along with a brand new car and an exclusive recording contract under Alternate Records and Talents for 2 years. Most exciting of all, the finalists will debut their very own singles for the first time.
Harap yang lagu yang Mary bakal bawa ni, single Mary sendiri, harap diterima ramai oleh orang di luar sana.
Harap lagu itu saya akan deliver segah posternya lah. Poster gitu deh. So saya mengharapkan lagu itu diterima rakyat Malaysia.
Sunday's semi-final episode also featured Sheila Amza as guest judge, along with a special opening performance by the legendary local rock band Search. Bayer Leverkusen keep title chase alive. Sports after this breather.
Maka apabila mereka kembali kepada Allah Subhanahu wa taala dengan bertaubat, dengan melakukan segala perintah suruhannya, maka semua yang telah mereka lakukan sebelum daripada itu akan diampunkan.
Mengapa susah untuk mendapat taubat nasuha?
Ketika mana kita bertaubat kepada Allah, sudah pasti Allah akan bawa kita, Allah akan bimbing kita, Allah akan pelihara kita. Tapi dengan syaratnya, mestilah hati kita bertaubat dengan kesungguhan.
Kotor dan jijik, kilang berbola ikan tercemar.
Kehadiran tikus berdasarkan najis tikus kat sini. Di sini kan?
Oh, besar. Pengusaha lepas tangan abai kualiti makanan.
Kita nak kasih orang makan.
Ya, faham.
Ya, orang keracunan makanan, orang sakit, ya, mesti ada tanggungjawab lah.
Saksikan 999 Selasa jam 9 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Kadang-kadang Fahrin, disebabkan rasa sayang, kita kuatkan diri untuk memberikan yang terbaik.
Memaksa diri atau keadaan yang membuat kita terpaksa.
Menu Thailand banyak yang kreatif dan sedap.
Kami bawakan Selasa nanti.
Hilang ingatan selepas melahirkan anak.
Inspirasi kisah kasih ibu.
Perceraian jangan sehingga mengganggu emosi anak-anak.
Perebutan hadanah sebaiknya dielakkan.
Setiap permulaan ada pengakhirannya.
Seri pentas bakal meninggalkan 1000 kenangan.
Semuanya di WHI TV3.
Stream sekarang ditonton.
Wanita hari ini. Kita bertemu dalam My Quran Time.
114 surah, 6,236 ayat, 30 juzu. Sesiapa yang membaca satu huruf, maka baginya 10 kali ganda kebaikan. Jadi, sudahkah anda membaca Al-Quran hari ini? My #Quran Time 2.0 setiap hari 12.30 hari di TV9, juga di saluran Astro 149.
Sports now, football, the German Bundesliga. Bayer Leverkusen kept their title hope alive as they claimed a 3-1 win over Hoffenheim. Victor Boniface put Leverkusen in front after just 15 minutes, finishing off Alejandro Grimaldo's clever through ball before Jeremy Frimpong doubled the score for the hosts 4 minutes later. Leverkusen resumed their domination in the second half, with Patrick Schick making it 3-0 in the 51st minute following some poor defending by Hoffenheim. Leverkusen then found themselves one man behind after Grimaldo was shown a second yellow card for a challenge on Hoffenheim's Marius Bolter in the 61st minute. Hoffenheim capitalized on the advantage with Gif Orban scoring from close range a minute later to pull one back. The 3-1 scoreline remained till the final whistle, despite Hoffenheim pushing hard in search for more goals. With the win, Leverkusen cut Bayern Munich's lead to 5 points, while Hoffenheim dropped to 15th spot. In another match, Eintracht Frankfurt and Wolfsburg had to be satisfied with a share of points after a 1-1 draw in their round 20 clash. Wolfsburg broke the deadlock 5 minutes into the second half, no thanks to Tuta's own goal. The match was about to end when Can Yilmaz Uzun salvaged a point for Eintracht, heading home Jean-Matteo Bahoya's inviting cross. The draw saw Eintracht maintain their third position in the table, while Wolfsburg stuck in 10. Still on football, the Portuguese Primeira Liga. Sporting Lisbon eased past struggling Farense 3-1 to stretch their lead to the standings to 6 points. Sporting took the lead after 11 minutes when Ivan Fresneda finished off Conrad Harder's low cross. Usman Diomande headed in Sporting's second 15 minutes later from a corner before Lucas Africo halved the deficit for Farense in the 48th minute, nodding home Elves' cross. Harder then grabbed his second of the night 2 minutes before the final whistle, sealing a 3-1 win for the home side. With the win, Sporting consolidated their spot at the top of the standings with 50 points, 6 points above closest rivals Benfica. Australia braces for more destruction. The details when Nightline returns.
Saya lihat suspek seolah-olah membaca mantra dan suspek menghembus kiri dan kanan.
Bomoh tu datang, masuk ke dalam rumah dan kemudian menjalankan satu upacara macam akad nikah. Tanpa wali, tanpa saksi dan sebagainya.
Unlocking the future of business.
From industry evolutions to policy changes, we go beyond the headlines.
Deep insights, sharp analysis.
Understanding the forces driving tomorrow's economy.
Key financial insights that drive decisions.
This is Money Matters, every Saturday, 5 p.m.
Only on TV3 and stream now on Tonton.
Kadang-kadang Fahrin, disebabkan rasa sayang, kita kuatkan diri untuk memberikan yang terbaik.
Memaksa diri atau keadaan yang membuat kita terpaksa.
Menu Thailand banyak yang kreatif dan sedap.
Kami bawakan Selasa nanti.
Hilang ingatan selepas melahirkan anak.
Inspirasi kisah kasih ibu.
Perceraian jangan sehingga mengganggu emosi anak-anak.
Perebutan hadanah sebaiknya dielakkan.
Setiap permulaan ada pengakhirannya.
Sri Pentas bakal meninggalkan 1000 kenangan.
Semuanya di WHI TV3.
Stream sekarang di Tonton.
Wanita hari ini.
Kita bertemu dalam My Quran Time.
114 surah, 6,236 ayat, 30 juzu. Sesiapa yang membaca satu huruf, maka baginya 10 kali ganda kebaikan. Jadi, sudahkah anda membaca Al-Quran hari ini? My #Quran Time 2.0 setiap hari 12.30 hari di TV9 juga di saluran Astro 149.
On to the foreign front. Deadly floodwaters triggered by record rainfall in Australia's northeast rose for a third day on Monday as authorities warned flood-stricken communities to brace themselves for further destruction. Thousands of residents in low-lying coastal suburbs and towns are under immediate evacuation orders after nearly a summer's worth of rain fell on large parts of North Queensland in just a few days. Impacted areas are dotted along the 735-kilometre stretch of the Queensland coast from Cairns to Mackay, with the city of Townsville, Ingham Town and Cardwell among the worst hit by flash floods and overflowing rivers. Meanwhile, weather officials extended the severe weather warning for large parts of the coast, saying severe thunderstorms with heavy to intense rainfall are likely possible. Fortunately, there have been no further fatalities and no people reported missing since Sunday. Authorities in Gaza on Monday have updated the death toll from Israel's war on the enclave to 61,709 Palestinians, having now added thousands who are missing and now presumed dead. The head of the Gaza Government Information Office said that the bodies of 76% of the Palestinians killed have been recovered and brought to medical centers. However, at least 14,222 people are still believed to be trapped under rubbles or in areas inaccessible to rescuers. Among the death toll are 17,881 children, including 214 newborn and infants. The updated numbers come amid the fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas that halted last month. The pause in fighting, set to continue until at least early March, has given room for Palestinian rescuers to reach parts of Gaza that they could not reach before. In the meantime, Iran on Monday has condemned U.S. President Donald Trump's proposal to relocate Palestinians from the Gaza Strip, warning it would amount to ethnic cleansing. A spokesman for the Foreign Ministry said the international community should help Palestinians secure their right to self-determination, rather than pushing for other ideas that would tantamount to ethnic cleansing. The remarks come after Trump repeatedly floated an idea to clean out the Gaza Strip and move its population to Egypt and Jordan. Iran, which does not recognize Israel, has made support for the Palestinian cause one of its pillars of its foreign policy since the victory of the Islamic Revolution in 1979. In other news, some of the biggest names in the music industry were honored at the 67th Annual Grammy Awards held in Los Angeles on Sunday, with the legend Beyoncé marking a historic win. The superstar singer won Best Album of the Year and triumphed over Taylor Swift, Billie Eilish, and others to claim the trophy that had eluded her even as she collected more lifetime Grammys than any other artist. And while the award was Beyoncé's biggest win of the night, she also made history. Earlier in the evening, she became the first Black artist to win Best Country Album, while she also won Best Country Duo Group Performance. Meanwhile, Kendrick Lamar's inescapable Drake diss, Not Like Us, won a whopping 5 awards: Best Rap Performance, Best Rap Song, Best Music Video, and most significantly, Song and Record of the Year, marking the rapper's first 2 wins in the major Grammy categories. While Beyoncé and Lamar earned the big prizes, several Grammy newcomers also left an indelible mark on this year's show. Sabrina Carpenter won 3 awards, including Best Pop Vocal Album for Short and Sweet and Best Pop Solo Performance for Espresso. And Doechii became the 3rd woman in history to win Best Rap Album for Alligator Bites Never Heal, but it was Chappell Roan who made the boldest statement after winning the coveted Best New Artist prize. SZA, Residente, Shakira, Chris Stapleton, and Casey Musgraves all added more Grammys to their collections.
Immigrant brothers and sisters.
And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look as music stars from around the globe perform their latest hits to an A-list crowd at the 67th Grammy Awards in Los Angeles. With that, I'm Nurin Razman. Thank you for watching and stay safe.